we've reached the finale of this year of Death Battle with the latest episode, Among Us vs. Fall Guys. So what did I think of the episode? I thought it was pretty fun. Like, it was definitely a dumb, fun episode. It was taken seriously as the debate, but overall the debate itself was real silly. Mostly because these are not the kind of characters that get analyzed in these kind of debates, which is really shown by what they are given in the debate. But yeah, I had fun. I'll just put the ranking here instead of at the end. But yeah, I would say this is probably my least favorite of the four that we got through Kickstarter, but it's a pretty close four. And then the other three as shown in the image, because I can't remember it off the top of my head. Still good though. Still good, still had fun. Let's see what they analyzed with them for Among Us. So between the two, there's definitely a lot of actually in-game stuff is not the most useful. Though for the Among Us is a little bit more so, because the imposter is actually shown to kill people. So he has at least weapons, has a sense, because he has his gun and also his big shape-shifty face. Yeah, because the in-game stuff is kind of weird. One thing that this has to go into, which they haven't had to for many others, if any, which is all the crossovers that it's done. And the most notable one for Among Us is Vampire Survivors, because there was a cool animated trailer for it, and they got a bunch of weapons. Notably in that trailer, it showed that the gun can fire a laser, which can explode planets. So that's pretty impressive, and really fun. Maybe I should go back to Vampire Survivors. Do what I did the first time, which was play it and then watch Superman the Animated Series. Definitely a lot of dumb Among Us jokes throughout this, which is to be expected. There's the emergency meeting. It was pretty fun, and I did like that it changed from preview to actual release. But yeah, a lot of the crossover stuff is pretty fun. It gives them new stuff. A lot of Among Us jokes. It was fun. What about the Fall Guys, though? I definitely played a little bit of Fall Guys. I haven't played much of either game, because Among Us is definitely more fun if you have friends to play it with, and I definitely did not have friends that wanted to play Among Us. I think I played it a couple times, and it kind of just didn't work out, it felt. I don't think I have the group for it. And then also I just kind of discovered I don't really like social deduction games. But Among Us seems like a different one because there's actually a video game happening, as opposed to just sit in a circle, close your eyes, and point at someone. Fall Guys I did play a little bit of. The issue was that the only thing I could play it on was my PlayStation, and then whenever I got to other things, I wanted to transfer stuff over, and it was just kind of confusing because I had to go through the Epic account, and it wasn't the most clear. I just kind of couldn't be bothered doing it anyway. So I haven't played that in a while. And then also it seems like there's a bunch of other games that kind of took its idea and ran with it and have also been successful. Which, probably just blame Epic for that because no one wants to use the Epic Games Launcher. But because of that, this has a lot of stuff that I was very unfamiliar with for the Fall Guys. Notably, I didn't realize how many things that it had crossed over into. I knew a bunch of things that crossed over into it, but I did not know there were you could get a little Fall Guy pet in FF14. That's pretty wacky. Or that you can just be them in Fortnite. Which I guess is them crossing over into another game is okay, but the ones crossing over into them are just costumes. So they're not the same. Which is why they get stealing to Fortnite Big Bang, because they were properly in there, as opposed to Among Us, which was just just cosmetic. Not in the same way that the Fall Guy was, I think. That's the reason they give in the video, at least. Yeah, and definitely one of the dumbest things that we had to go into for either of them is that because there's so little actual official stuff in their game to use, you gotta go to the developer's Twitter to get stuff, which is how you get the ridiculous feat of a Fall Guy once stretched so hard, so fast, he reached outside of the observable universe. That one's absurd. Costumes aren't counted. Apparently some of the Fall Guy ones have special animations, so they allow them to have be able to do a Hadouken, be able to use the TARDIS, be able to turn into Pac-Man, which is ridiculous, but I mean, this whole fight is conceptually stupid. I guess they just got convinced it would be a cool idea. And you know what? They did a cool idea. Because now we're moving on to the fight. So, unlike the previous couple fights, there are no voices, because they don't speak. The Fall Guys make noises, but I think they just use the noises from the game, which is fair. Though there is music, though. Song for this episode is Sussy Beans by Therewood Media. It's a good title for this. It did get me to chuckle. And the song itself, I would need to listen to it outside of the fight, because it doesn't seem like it's been released yet, and I haven't listened to it by itself. But I did like what I heard, and it definitely fit. It had a lot of, various themes that fit for the characters. Like, I think you definitely hear, the music from Among Us, the music from Fall Guys, even a song from Fortnite. But I think it works, especially because no one talks. It does stand out above a lot of the action. What about the actual fight? So the actual fight animation, it starts off very weird. It starts off as a game of Among Us, but there's Fall Guys on the ship. And then it moves into a game of Fall Guys, but there's Among Us's. The Among Us part was what they showed during the preview, and it was neat to see how it just recreated that, but it definitely made me think, oh, how's this going to be a fight? And then the rest of it, then we got to see the rest of it, and it made more sense. It doesn't really get to pick up until both the games end. There's a lot of fun little animations, like the blue Among Us does the funny twerk gif. Like, they all do funny little dances throughout the animation. And then, though it does have one of the weirder Easter eggs to me, so I don't know if that means they're going to do something about it, but whenever the blue Among Us gets splattered against the wall, it has the text 11037. And there is a suspicious line between those two ones, because it is in fact spelling Leon upside down, which was from the first kiss of Danganronpa. Does that mean anything? I don't know. And if it doesn't really mean anything, I don't really know why it's there, because, I don't know, it's weird. I'm not a huge fan of the first Danganronpa game, mostly just because I think back on it and it's just kind of primitive compared to the second and third games. Definitely the second one is the best overall. The issue is that the second one is the best one, but it really rides atop the first one, so you do have to play that first one. And then the third one is cool and interesting, but you have to have played the first two games to really understand it. Honestly, you have to have also seen the anime and played Ultra Spur Girls. Not as much Ultra Spur Girls, I guess. You need to watch the anime and play the first two games for the shit that happens in V3. This is a tangent based on an Easter egg that I think is kind of dumb. So let's move on. So after that, it's revealed that purple Fall Guy is actually the red Among Us, which was definitely everyone being like, hey, how come there's no red Among Us? Because that's the iconic one. And then they get into the actual fight. And it definitely shows off that these Fall Guys are indestructible. But you get some really cool animation. I do really like the bit where he teleports and there's just some cool action lines when he's coming down on him. It's pretty sick. And then they fall past the, I don't know what the hell that big block that you stand on. The shelves, I guess. I don't know if there's a name for that, but yeah, the Fall Guys one. And they all jump off to rejoin the fight, essentially. You get a big wacky fight sequence just going over some of their stronger abilities. They recreate the plant destruction from that trailer. It looks really good, actually. That very well done sword fight. The red Among Us does a fucking zero pizza cutter. I think it looks really fun. Yeah, the fight reaches its climax. Some just really nice animation. And really dumb reason for the win, which is that the Fall Guy sees that the red Among Us is going to get the crown and be king, and he does not care for that, so tears him to fucking pieces. But he wins, so, all is good. He does a Fortnite dance. Yeah, really well done animation. I think it's one of the ones that I can't think of any that off the top of my head that to compare it to, but it's one of the ones where it kind of starts off very simple and then just progressively gets more intense, because the animation at the start, which to be fair, it's trying to recreate Among Us, compared to at the end when he's flying through space trying to eat the last guy, is night and day. in quality. But yeah, the Fall Guys win really just in the sense that they are completely indestructible. So there's no way they can lose. I would have preferred if the Amoguses win just because I think they're funny looking. And that's, I feel like, most of the reasoning for wanting something to win. But yeah, it's really just that they are just completely indestructible. And then that weird Twitter feed definitely sent it over the edge. And then they definitely let them turn into Pac-Man, which means that even though the Amoguses can turn into ghosts, they get eaten by Pac-Man. The Among Us developers didn't even have faith in themselves. They were just like, man, this is gonna be a cool fight. Our beans are fucking dead, though. Probably my least favorite of the season, though I did like it a lot. And I wasn't sure if we were gonna get a next time, because we're going to go on break now for the holidays and come back probably late January. So I wasn't sure if they were gonna like not say anything and then reveal it in the new year. But no, we do know what is the first episode of 2025, and it's one that's been talked about and requested for years.
My vengeance is everything. I forgive you! Making my daughter cry!
Kratos versus Asura. Now, one thing I'm definitely thankful for in this coming out, in what is going to be the biggest gap between episodes that we're going to have for a while, is that could potentially give me time to play through a couple God of War games, and also Asura's Wrath. Asura's Wrath is, I think, very short, but yeah, and then I could try and find a way to play through definitely the original God of Wars, because I would have to go in order. But yeah, this one is definitely very exciting. Everyone has been requesting it for a while. Haven't seen Kratos in Death Battle since Season 1 when he fought Spawn. Now Spawn just has to make a return. People want him to fight Ghost Rider. It would be very cool. And as people pointed out, it's very funny that this lost the Tournament Champions to Tom versus Wile E. Coyote. But this is coming out before Tom versus Wile E. Coyote. Very interesting. I don't care because I voted for this because I didn't really want Tom vs. Coyote. I didn't think that sounded like a very fun episode. I think people were just kind of high off the joy that Courage vs. Scooby-Doo gave us. And they were like, oh, do it again with other Warner Brothers related animal characters. And I disagreed, but clearly not enough because that did win. Hopefully other ones that I'm excited for will happen in the new year. Though there is ones to look forward to, at least from what we know. Outside of Kratos vs. Asura, there's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 confirmed episodes. Those will not be coming out this year. I expect 5 confirmed episodes, maybe. Out of the 12 that we're presumably going to get next year, I expect 6 to be ones that we know about. Potentially 8. I don't expect, like, certain ones I expect to be pushed, especially if, like, we hear there's going to be new stuff. Like, I expect Mahito vs. Shigaraki to probably be in that one, just because there's no reason to, we don't need to wait on that one. Could probably wait a second for Mashi vs. Doomslayer, because the new Doom game will be coming out. Maybe wait until that's out, especially because that only just won that, so that's definitely lower on the list. Same with like Urusumaka, but we need information as to what is going on with Ruby. But yeah, we'll look forward to that. Given that we're going to be a while before the next death battle, it'll be a while. Probably some other videos to fill the space. Until then,